What's the dumbest rule you've ever been caught breaking? I got fired from my college job at the campus bookstore for eating a banana during my shift. Not stealing it, I brought it from home for lunch. Apparently there was a no outside food policy that nobody had ever told me about, and my supervisor caught me eating it during my break in the employee room. She wrote me up for policy violation and said eating non-store food was theft of company time since I wasn't supporting the bookstore's overpriced snack section. When I pointed out that they didn't even sell bananas, she fired me for insubordination and arguing with management. I lost my job, my employee discount, and my ability to pay rent that month because I ate a 50-cent banana I brought from home. I was a sophomore working part-time at the campus bookstore to help pay for tuition and rent. The bookstore was run by Mrs. Henderson, a woman who took her authority way too seriously and managed the place like it was a Fortune 500 company instead of a college bookstore. I'd been working there for 3 months without any problems. Mrs. Henderson had never mentioned any food policies during my training, just the usual stuff about being professional and not stealing merchandise. The incident happened on a Tuesday afternoon during my 2 to 6 p.m. shift. I'd packed lunch from home, a sandwich, apple, and banana, because I couldn't afford the bookstore's $8 sandwiches and $3 bags of chips. Around 3:30 during my scheduled break, I went to the employee room to eat my lunch. I was eating my banana when Mrs. Henderson walked in looking for something in the supply closet. She stopped dead when she saw me with a banana. "What is that?" she asked, pointing at my banana like it was contraband. "It's a banana," I said, confused. "Where did you get it?" "I brought it from home for lunch." Mrs. Henderson's expression darkened. "We have a strict no outside food policy. All employees are required to purchase their meals from the bookstore food section during break." I stared in disbelief. This was the first I'd heard of such a policy. Nobody told me about that rule during training. "It's in the employee handbook," she said curtly. "Page 47, section 12B. I honestly couldn't remember receiving an employee handbook. "Okay, I didn't know. I'll make sure not to bring outside food again." "It's too late for that," Mrs. Henderson said, pulling out a disciplinary form. "This is a serious policy violation. Bringing outside food undermines our food service profits and constitutes theft of company time." "Theft of company time?" I asked incredulously. "I'm on my break and I brought this banana from home. By not purchasing food from our establishment, you're failing to support the business that employs you," she explained with the seriousness of someone discussing national security. "It's a betrayal of company loyalty." I watched in amazement as she filled out the form, writing, "Employee consumed unauthorized outside food, banana, during work hours." "Mrs. Henderson," I said carefully, "you don't even sell bananas here. How can I support the business by buying something you don't carry?" That's when her face really changed. "Are you arguing with me? Are you questioning my authority and the company's policies?" "I'm just pointing out that that's insubordination," she cut me off. "Arguing with management is grounds for immediate termination." I couldn't believe this was happening. "You're firing me for eating a banana? I'm firing you for violating company policy and then arguing about it when confronted," she said, finishing the termination paperwork. "Please gather your belongings and turn in your name tag." I sat there holding my half-eaten banana, trying to process that I was being fired for eating fruit I'd brought from home. I gathered my backpack, turned in my name tag, and walked out in a daze. The worst part was the timing. Rent was due in 2 weeks, and I'd been counting on my paycheck. Without the job, I had to call my parents and ask for money, which was humiliating. I found out later that Mrs. Henderson had been looking for reasons to fire people because the bookstore was overstaffed. She'd fired someone the month before for wearing the wrong shade of blue polo shirt. 3 months later, the bookstore started selling bananas in their overpriced fruit section for $2 each. I couldn't help but laugh when I saw the display.